I started bringing my kiddos out to the ranch many years ago, and we were going through a really traumatic time in life. We had been in a safe house off and on over 100 times, a lot of court, a lot of trauma.
When I was growing up, it was hard to have a community that didn't change or that I would have to pull away from.
We were invited to a potluck, and I knew the moment that we stepped foot on the ranch that we were home. It was really just peaceful and just a true miracle.
When I started, I was pretty scared of horses, ironically.
Liz started in on her sessions, and I watched her from the very beginning leading a horse with complete trauma and fear to the next session, just owning it. It's like she had a voice and she had a chance in life, and it was a beautiful start.
The name of our mentoring program is Bridges. A lot of the kids that we serve have learned that relationships with people are not safe. They have a very difficult time trusting. So the horses step in and they become this beautiful bridge for relationship. They're much more willing to build that with the horses. And then the horses become beautiful bridges for relationship with a mentor, who then becomes a bridge for relationship with Jesus.
The ranch just ended up being kind of like a consistent, stable community that I knew I could have in my life. And just knowing that the people were going to stay the same and be there, it truly meant a lot. My mentor's name was Sammy, and she was just a ball of energy in my life. We had a really close relationship. We went on many adventures, and she got me way out of my comfort zone. But it just kind of helped me grow to where I am now, both at the ranch and personally in my own life.
It's amazing to watch, to see how God has transformed her from remembering her when she first started in her fear to this beautiful, confident, capable young woman that she's become, who's now choosing to pour into other kids.
I started working here after I graduated high school, and it was really cool to be able to see the process and then start my own sessions with kids.
From watching this scared, timid, fearful little girl turn into what she is today, and she's such a good leader and loves the kids.
Liz is one of the most courageous young women I know. She's one of those kiddos who walked through imaginably hard things, and she never quit fighting. She is making a tremendous impact on the lives of young women who are coming to the ranch now.
When I started on staff, I started as a part-time ranch hand, and as years went on, I ended up working up to the lead ranch hand, and this past January of 2025, I was blessed to be able to start full-time as the equine director and barn manager, and it's just been such a fun journey at the ranch, and I'm so excited for what the future brings.
One of those young women that Liz has had a really tremendous impact on is Olive.
I was in an orphanage that housed hundreds of children that weren't wanted by society.
She was 7 years old when we got her. She was 24 pounds when we got her. The pain was very evident that she had been through quite the story and quite the hardship.
I was adopted into a loving family, a loving mom and dad who gave me a place that I could call home and food that would fill my belly and so many clothes that I don't know what to do with. But there was one little part, and that was the trauma I had experienced living in the orphanage. My brain was not able to accept all this, and it had a hard time because I was very independent. I knew how to survive. I knew how to live and defend for myself, and so it was very hard for me to accept all this loving and care for my family.
No matter how much we could pour in, there was a hole that the world had taken from her that only God could replace. So God went to work where we couldn't, and we had heard about the ranch through a friend of a friend of a friend.
I remember her and her mom coming out, and her mom doing the sessions with us at first, and then both just having a lot of fear. Her mom for her, and then a lot of this was brand new, very much a whole new environment to her.
Sammy, she was really nice. She really laid the foundation of my life of trust and peace and just letting go of all the hurt I've suffered over the years. People were a struggle for me, of course. So animals and horses especially were giving me this peace. They also showed me that people are good too, because people are the ones who they trust.
When a horse chooses to be with you, just this big, strong animal becoming vulnerable and choosing you as their leader, it's so empowering to kids. I think horses just give kids a lot of confidence. Even to be able to lead a horse around an animal 10 times bigger than they are, to be able to ride this animal, to be able to connect with them. I mean, the list goes on and on of the benefits. They're really incredible animals.
The heart that God made in Olive has finally come out. I almost look at it as like barnacles on a ship, where there was people that came along and helped clean those barnacles off to show the true heart that God made in Olive.
I'm a new mentor. I have a little girl and she has had a difficult past, but I just love her because she comes from some similar past than I came, and that I want to help her. I want to bring her back to who she really is.
To be able to watch Sammy, who came in as one of our first employees here at the ranch, then invest in Liz, who then grew up and is now serving as our full-time equine director and having an incredible impact on other young women here at the ranch, Olive being one of them. And then Olive just began mentoring. We know that trauma has a generational impact. It cycles over generations. Watching 4 generations of cycle breaking and getting to have played a role in the catalyst of that, for that to become a part of the legacy of this place. It is a treasure to have gotten to be a part of this. We started at the beginning of last year with 70 kids on our wait list, and we were so delighted to be able to bring almost 20 kids off that wait list last year. And now today we currently have over 100. The need is astronomical.
It is so impactful to just support the ranch and to be behind the reason for getting these kids off the waiting list. Really, just one stable figure in that kid's life can change so much. Having someone be able to walk alongside them and be a friend in that time.
The majority of the kids that we serve, many of them come with a laundry list of diagnoses. Many of them feel like they failed either at school or they have a hard time in their families, and they've taken that on themselves as well. And one of our core values here at Refuge is service. We believe that when we serve, when we get outside of ourselves and pour ourselves out for the sake of someone else, that's incredibly restorative, that God uses that to heal. And so our message to the kids who come here is not "you're broken, let us fix you," because the reality is we're all broken. Our message to them is one that we all are desperate to hear, and that is you have something valuable to offer, so come and serve. And so as they're paired in relationship with our horses, particularly our rescued horses, they're given purpose and value, and they are capable of doing so much. They've just not been given an opportunity to show that. We are licensed with the Illinois Department of Agriculture as an equine rescue. And so many of our horses that come through that avenue come having their own stories of abuse and neglect. Many of them take a long time also to begin to trust. And so to invite a kid into that journey with a horse when they've had a similar experience is incredibly powerful. Freedom Reins is our adaptive riding program that serves special needs youth. And one of the most beautiful components is that there's become an amazing synergy between our Bridges mentoring program and our adaptive riding program, where kids from the mentoring program come and serve kids in our Freedom Reins program. And it's just another opportunity for them to pour out what's being poured into them.
My job is to teach horseback riding lessons to kids with disabilities. And what that can look like is a group or a team of people will assist a rider in being able to ride a horse safely.
Peyton, he's 15 and he's overall delayed. He has a condition called STX-BP1. He is wheelchair bound.
Morgan is our granddaughter. She has cerebral palsy. She doesn't do a lot of activity. She's in her wheelchair all day.
We use a special tool called a surcingle, and that is basically a strap that goes around the horse, and it has handles so that the rider can hold on a little bit easier than with a regular saddle.
We were very nervous, just little bitty and throwing him on a horse, but they made us feel comfortable and he loved it from the start.
They lift her out and put her up on the horse, and then she lays on her back. There's a person that leads and then 2 sidewalkers.
The horse's gait actually mimics the same way that a human can walk. And so if you're sitting on a horse and then the horse is walking, you're getting 3 or 4 times the amount of steps or the movement in your hips as you would just walking. And so for the kids that can't walk, just moving those muscles is an amazing feat for them.
Her hands will be tight sometimes when she gets on and lays on her back, and then as she rides, her hands will open up. It's a good experience for Morgan, and sadly, it's one of the only things that she does get to do as an activity.
It does not cost anything, as most other special needs parents have figured out over the years. If anything's labeled special needs or handicap, there's always a really large price tag. So having something like an activity that he can come do that doesn't cost anything is pretty amazing.
There are limitless ways to get involved at Refuge, whether you enjoy gardening, whether you enjoy just being outside and working. If you want to learn how to work with horses, you don't have to have experience, we'll teach you. What you do have to have is a heart for Jesus and a heart for hurting kids. Refuge Ranch receives no government funding. We are very Christ-centered in everything we do. And what that means is that we rely on the generosity of donors, on our church partners, on people who are passionate about seeing the gospel go to the hearts of hurting kids in our community. And so if that mission resonates with you, we need your partnership. Ministry for people who have been through really hard things can be slow, but that is the kind of ministry that Jesus did. That is what discipleship looks like, and that's the kind of relationship that changes lives. Hi friends, thank you so much for allowing us to share the story of Refuge Ranch with you. We hope that you're as excited about what God is doing through this ministry as we are. And today we want to share about an unprecedented opportunity we have been given to expand Refuge, not only by expanding the physical boundaries of our property, but the scope and reach of our services as well. And perhaps most important, to create long-term sustainability so that we can continue to partner with God as He breaks strongholds and cycles of trauma, not just today, but for generations to come. And we're asking you to join us in this transformational work, whether you live a few miles down the road or states away. Your partnership and prayer and generosity has a direct impact on the number of families that we can reach. So you can get to our website through the QR code on the screen, where you'll find more stories of hope and horses and healing, and where you can learn more about how to join this amazing community of life changers. We'll see you there.